Hey guys, Nick here, and welcome to my review of the brand new extended cut of Suicide Squad that was just released. And I apologize for this video being a little late. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the movie digitally right away. I'm a little tight on money right now, so I couldn't buy it right away. So luckily, someone was nice enough to send me a link to the movie so I could watch it last night and finish it this morning. And I want to preface my review by saying this. I was so excited for this extended cut of the movie because, when they did the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs. Superman, a movie which I already loved when they released the Ultimate Edition, I loved that movie so much more. And every time I watch the extended or the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs. Superman, I love it more and more. And I was expecting something along those lines when the extended cut was announced. And one of my biggest problems with Suicide Squad, not necessarily with the movie itself, but just there should have been more Joker. There really should have been. At least in my opinion, because I loved what we got from Jared Leto up until the ending of the movie, and I really want to see more of him as the Joker. And then the movie comes out and they cut out a lot of his stuff, and I just want to see more of that. And when the extended cut was announced, I'm like, this is your opportunity, Warner Brothers, give us more Joker. And before I saw the movie, I was expecting more of that, more of the bar scene, and all the trailers were hyping me up, and all the Suicide Squad social media accounts, they were hyping me up to be excited for this extended cut. And before I saw the movie, I heard people, by the time I saw the movie, a ton of people have already seen it and given their reviews and thoughts on the movie. So I was kind of warned as to what was and what wasn't in the movie, or at least in this extended cut. And so my thoughts on the extended cut itself, I liked it a lot. The extended cut didn't drastically change my thoughts on the movie, because unfortunately there was only about 10 more minutes of footage that they added. And it was only like 2 scenes of the Joker they added. They added some more stuff between Harley and the team, and kind of her like dissecting, not like literally, but like mentally dissecting each of the members of the squad as they're walking throughout the city. They had to add more between Deadshot and Flag. And there's this one scene I really think they shouldn't have added. It was just a scene of like Killer Croc throwing up when they were on the helicopter. That was completely unnecessary. And there's more of like a subplot going on with Deadshot trying to set up, he's like working with Rick to kind of get him out of prison so he can see his daughter. And there's the whole thing, there's more to that in the movie and more of their relationship in the movie. But overall, nothing too drastically different in this movie. Overall, it feels like without those scenes, or even with scenes added, it feels almost like the exact same movie with just a few more minutes added. Which isn't a bad thing. You guys know I love the movie, despite my problems with, Enchantress and the choppy editing and stuff like that. The extended cut, like I said, it didn't drastically change my opinion on the movie because I already liked the movie as it was, with its issues. But the extended cut, I was a little let down, to be honest, because I was expecting a lot more. And going in, when I actually was watching, I already had an idea of what to expect because people were already posting online what was and what wasn't in the movie. And so even then, I was still a little let down. I wanted to see more of Jared Leto's Joker, and I honestly, I've posted this on my various social media accounts, if you guys want to follow me. But I honestly think that Warner Brothers should have released a cut of the movie that was more Harley and Joker centric, and you could have called it the Mad Love cut, because that was what a lot of us fans wanted, was more of Jared Leto and as the Joker and more of his scenes with Harley. And we didn't really get much of that. We got a couple of scenes that were cool scenes, but not nearly enough of what we as fans wanted from this movie. And just to me, as I was watching those scenes, I'm just like, they were great scenes. I just wish that Warner Brothers gave us more than what we got. And I think that's my biggest takeaway is, if you were expecting more from this movie, you're gonna be let down. If you guys haven't seen this extended cut yet, I'm gonna spoil some things. So if you guys don't want to be spoiled, I recommend putting this video aside until you actually see the extended cut. But I'm just gonna go ahead and get into the scenes that they added. So without further ado, here we go. So just one of the bigger things in the movie was really early scenes, was more of a subplot, like I said, with Deadshot and Rick Flag. And Deadshot is, again, he's desperate to see his daughter. And he has more character moments with Flag trying to set that up. And by the end of the movie, with all the scenes they introduce, and there's a scene with them talking about love, and just, they introduce a lot more scenes with them too. And I feel like by the end of the movie, that there is like a sense of trust and respect between the two of them. Because of course, from the beginning of the movie, Deadshot doesn't trust Flag. He doesn't really like Flag. But by the end of the movie, you feel like it's more of a friendship, and you just feel like their dynamic is more genuine, and you feel like Rick Flag as a character is a more real character, because I didn't necessarily love his character in the theatrical cut, but to me, the extended cut for what the few added scenes with him and Deadshot made him, at least to me, feel like he was a little more of a real character. And to me, again, because I didn't like him as much in the theatrical cut, that what we ended up being shown in this extended cut, I liked him more. And another scene that I really liked, it was essentially like as the team was like walking through the streets of Midway City, Harley kind of goes to a couple of the squad members, and is kind of like trying to find out more about them and kind of more of why they are the way they are. And she's like going to Killer Croc and asking why he eats people, and Croc is just I don't remember his exact line, but and then she goes to like, oh, why don't you eat me? He's like, oh, because I don't want, you're crazy, or something along those lines. And then she goes up to Katana, kind of asking Katana why she is the way she is, and like, oh, it's like you want to hide yourself because your father wanted a daughter, or wanted a son, and all these things. And she's saying like Katana was like hiding, and then Katana takes off her mask and she's like, I'm not hiding. And it's like the moments like that I wish they kept in the movie, because it added a little more to Katana. Because Katana in this movie, I was super excited to see her, because Katana is, I think, an underutilized character in DC. We saw her, or at least an iteration of her in the CW's Arrow, and in this movie I was excited to see what they were going to do, and they kind of underutilized her a bit, and I was excited to see what they were going to do with her, and we didn't really get a whole lot of her. So that's why, like, in moments like this in the movie, I think should have been kept. Let's see, what else? There was, again, that whole sequence in the beginning of the movie when, Joker's torturing Harley as he's escaping Arkham Asylum. There's a lot more Joker dialogue added there, saying that, like, she kind of, like, erases memories, and that she left him in a bit of a rage and confusion. And moments like that made me really wish that they just kept more of Joker's scenes in this movie. Like, what was so wrong with adding more Joker? Like, Joker is one of the most iconic villains of all time. I would probably say he's up there with Darth Vader. So it was one of the most iconic movie villains, or at least villains in general of all time. And you don't utilize him. I know the movie's not about the Joker, but when you have the opportunity to utilize him, I think you should. And that's where, with scenes like that, and then the scene with Harley chasing him down on the motorcycle while he's driving the Lamborghini, and then she stops him, and then she confronts him about, why can't you love me? I've done all these things to prove that I love you. And why don't you let me in, and all these things. And then she pulls out a gun on the Joker after shooting a guy who was yelling at the Joker and Harley, and she said that they needed to take their stuff to the side, and then Harley ends up shooting the dude. And then she puts the gun to Joker's face, and Joker's like, do it. And then Harley's like, you're more afraid of my love for you, or you're more afraid of my heart than you are of a gun. And I thought that was a great line. And again, just seeing more of Jared Leto's Joker was one of the better sequences they added to the movie. But I think there should have been way more Joker, because they teased so much of the Joker and all the different promos and trailers leading up to the extended cut, that by the time we actually got there, it just, again, I think Warner Brothers let a lot of fans down. And I wish that they didn't tease us the way they did with, this extended cut with all this new footage. Yes, there's new footage, but you more or less gave us the same movie, just with a few more added scenes. And I think that was them just honestly. I think they took advantage of their audience, because they thought they're going to get the same results as they did with Batman vs Superman, the Ultimate Edition there. But no, you didn't give us 30 minutes of new footage. You gave us 11 minutes footage that was for the most part good, except for the one stupid Killer Croc scene of him throwing up. But overall, I just feel like they took advantage of us fans who were excited to see an extended version of this movie, because a lot of us wanted to see more of Jared Leto's Joker, and more of Harley, and more of the squad, and a more cohesive story. And you didn't give us that. You gave us like a watered down version of that. And as a fan, I love the movie still. I still love all the scenes with El Diablo. I love pretty much all members of the squad. I still wish Katana and even Boomerang had a little more to do. I wish they didn't kill off Slipknot so quickly. I hated what they did with Enchantress. And the ending still feels a little rushed to me because they kept the same ending. But I wish that Warner Brothers just, stop pussyfooting around shit like this. And, what your fans want, and you're not giving it to them. I'm like, I hate to sound like an entitled fanboy, but it's like, especially when, okay, look, I've defended all the DCEU movies. I will always defend all these movies because I personally like all of these movies, and I love Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, and I really enjoyed Suicide Squad. But it's like, come on, Warner Brothers, you're already in a place where the media, all they're doing is saying negative shit about you, and fans are saying negative shit about you for the most part. Yes, there's a lot of us who still love these movies, but you're not in the best place right now. So why don't you give us something that'll give you, the media and fans, something to shut the hell up about? And you're giving us barely anything at all. And like, don't you as a movie company, don't you guys want to be, looked at as like in a better place than where you are now? Don't you want the media feedback to be positive and not negative all the time? Because I feel like this isn't gonna necessarily help Warner Brothers in their and the media's and fans' perception of them. Because it's like, you hype all the fans up for this new extended cut of the movie with all this new footage, and you barely give us anything. So that was just, I don't know, as a fan, I'm disappointed that they didn't give us enough. And again, I hate to sound like an entitled fanboy. As a DCEU fan, I wanted more, and I wanted something much like the Ultimate Edition of Batman vs Superman, something that I didn't have to defend as much as I defend Man of Steel and the initial theatrical cut of Batman vs Superman, and the initial cut of Suicide Squad. Because, as much as I like these movies, a lot of people have problems with these movies, and I wanted something that kind of united us fans who maybe didn't like the theatrical cut, and then those who did, to unite us and give us something that we all like. And I feel like if you didn't like Suicide Squad, I don't know if you're gonna like this extended cut. I honestly don't. So yeah, with that being said, I think that's gonna be it for me. Again, I really liked this extended cut. I liked what they added. It didn't necessarily add more to the story or anything like that. But despite my issues with Warner Brothers and the way they kind of took advantage of us and our excitement of the movie and gave us something that was kind of disappointing, I'm just saying, the footage itself wasn't bad, except for the one stupid Killer Croc scene. But to me, I wish that they gave us more than what they did. And while I still liked what they did, I still liked the overall result of the movie, despite my issues with Enchantress and the plot and the editing a bit. I still like this movie a lot, and I'm still excited for, all the DCEU movies moving forward, between Wonder Woman, Justice League, Flash, Batman, Aquaman, all those movies moving forward. I just wish that Warner Brothers they ran their shit better. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this extended cut of the movie. What were your guys' favorite moments in the movie? Sign your thoughts in the comment section below. Give this video a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for everything else I put up on my channel, between my different TV show reviews, movie reviews, and trailer reviews, and anything else I put up on my channel. Thank you guys for watching, and until next time, have a good one.